Sandy and David are doing Notables Bingo here on WikiTree. I just got to say thank you, everybody, for joining us. This has been a really fast January. David and I were saying, where did January go? And if you find it, let us know, because it was fast. And we had the thon.
We were chatting on Monday about bingo, and I said, well, that's not till February.
And guess what?
That was 3 days away.
It's February. So happy February, everybody. And we are talking romance. And I will tell you that David and I kind of prep this about a month in advance, sometimes 2 months in advance. If you go to the Friday Night Bingo page, and I'll drop the link a little bit later on, and it's also down below in the description, you'll see we have hints and clues about who we're going to showcase on the monthly bingo for the next several months. But tonight is about the weaver of romantic entanglements. Who is that, David?
And Sandy, before we do that, we didn't talk about this in our prep, but do you want to mention last month's and the follow-up?
Who was here the last bingo? And we talked about a famous aviator. So who was here when we talked about a woman, an aviator, and her plane was missing? Amelia Earhart.
If you weren't here, you should still be able to get this.
Yeah, you should still watch it because it was a really cool bingo. And David, what news happened? And I'm convinced it's because of our WikiTree bingo.
Because of all of our thoughts being put together.
Yes.
So the latest is that they think, and I emphasize think, but they think they may have found her plane sunken in the ocean. And they've got some pretty good technology right now. They know what kind of plane they're looking for. They know what shape and size and all the little particulars. So it sounds pretty promising, but they still have to do some more diving to make sure that it is what they think it is. But that's some pretty amazing news, and to have happened just literally days after we were talking about it, it was pretty amazing.
Go ahead, everybody. It was us. It was WikiTree. We did it.
Power of WikiTree.
I just dropped the link for Jane Austen's profile, and that's our profile notable that we're going to start with tonight, the Weaver of Romantic Entanglements.
And if next week they find her missing manuscripts, we're gonna.
I know it is, and I will say, if you are a fan of Jane Austen, please drop the name of your favorite novel. If you want to say movie, that's fine too. We're going to talk a little bit about both during the bingo. And if you have the bingo card, I'll put that link there as well. You'll notice that the first bingo card will be all about Pride and Prejudice. And I will say that is not my favorite Jane Austen book or movie. I will be curious to see what everybody else thinks about that. And let's go ahead and share my screen so we can take a peek. And David, tell us about Jane Austen on WikiTree.
Well, Jane Austen, first off, she has a very well done profile.
She does.
It was really impressive. We did not create this profile. This was done
by Steve Austen. Did we ever figure out if Steve Austen has anything to do with Jane Austen?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I did not actually investigate that, so that's a good question. She also has many of her family members on WikiTree also have really well developed profiles. So somebody was clearly a Jane Austen fan and has done a lot of research onto this family and built some really wonderful profiles. Jane has, I didn't honestly know a lot about Jane Austen prior to prepping for this, and so I've learned a lot. But she had a very interesting show. She had a short life. She only lived to, I think, 41 or early 40s. She grew up on a farm with a father who was a minister. Her mother, I believe, is the side of the family that any wealth and land came from. They were not wealthy people. They were probably what we would consider middle class.
With a lot of daughters, and back, with a lot of kids or sons too. And
Yeah, they had 8
There
children
is.
altogether.
Yeah, the issue is when you have a lot of kids, then you have a lot of mouths to feed.
Okay, well, here's an interesting. They have a lot of mouths to feed. Except, let me tell you this little bit of trivia. When she was born, her mother nursed her until she was 4 months old. At which point, she sent her into the city, where she was taken care of by some ladies. I don't know what their job title might have been. But they took care of her and taught her to walk and talk and potty trained her and did all those things that mothers typically do now, until she was 18 months old. And then they returned her to the home, all ready to
Live her life.
live her life. Yeah. But mom didn't take care of all that. She sent her away for a full year to learn how to do all those things.
There we go, Lisa, wet nurse. There we go.
And yeah, but although the wet nurse was for the nursing, but the mother did the nursing. It wasn't until she was weaned that they sent her off to this place. And then she came home and lived her early childhood years. But at age 12, she was then sent to boarding school. So, and the same with all of the children. So although they had 8 children, I'm not sure how many were ever home at the same time. She also had a brother who had disabilities. So when he was sent off, they never brought him back. So he was fostered out and raised by another family. So yeah, it was just a little bit different than we do things today.
No, but those are great.
There was times that I wished I could have sent my kids.
Those are great little trivia bits because you only hear about, oh, she wrote this or she wrote that or she was a dreamer, she was a romantic. And then you kind of find out the way that she was raised kind of plays into her novels. Now, if you're a Jane Austen fan, you know that a lot of her novels have lots of bits of her life in it. There's not one that is completely autobiographical, but each novel has little bits here and there and here and there. So I was asking David, you have not seen Pride and Prejudice?
I have not.
Have you seen any? Do you know any?
I've never read or seen any of the movies.
And I will say, I will say probably Sense and Sensibility is my favorite, but boy, I sure do love the quirkiness of Mansfield Park, and Persuasion's really big too. But the thing that I want to point out is Pride and Prejudice, and this is why we did the bingo card. So if everybody gets their bingo card up, we're going to start that in just a moment because our other bingo card is packed full of romantic authors that we want to talk about as well that are notables on WikiTree. But to talk about Pride and Prejudice for just a moment, when we go through the bingo card, you will see it. There have been so many variations of Pride and Prejudice. I mean, we have Pride and Prejudice and zombies. This is how far her reach has gone. I guarantee you when she was writing it, zombies never came into her mind. There's a Bollywood, Bride and Prejudice. If you have not seen it, it's fantastic. Watch it. If you just love a musical, it is fantastic. Definitely watch it. I, as a child, saw I want to say it's the original movie. It was from 1940s. It was black and white, and it had Greer Garson and Laurence Olivier in it. And I was fascinated by the story so much that got me to read the book. That movie's okay. Now looking back, it's okay. But I'm going to ask everybody in here, and you all let me know, would you prefer Colin Firth or Matthew McFadden's Mr. Darcy? So as you think about that, I will bring up the bingo card. And those
and let me give you a little piece of trivia. You mentioned that she didn't have any zombies at the time, but Pride and Prejudice was written in 1813. Frankenstein was written in 1818. So it wasn't too far off from that kind of writing.
And let me get the bingo card up. So does everybody have their bingo card? See, this is so funny. Now, I was really curious where you guys were going to go with this. I really was. Stephanie, thank you for naming your cat Mr. Darcy.
Unanimous, it looks like.
I know. I am really, really surprised that you guys are definitely picking Colin. I think it's definitely Colin for the win. And I'm going to guess, for those of you who've seen the movie, I'm going to guess it is the scene from the pond that has you guys thinking Colin Firth. If I'm wrong, let me know. Yeah, I love this, Carol. I agree. Matthew McFadden was really, really great too. It was played a really good, moody Mr. Darcy, but Colin Firth played just like a confused Mr. Darcy that just was perfect. So, and I like this. I see first maybe in my tree, my WikiTree. So you never know. Okay, so you guys ready for bingo? Let me go ahead and bring that up. And I'm sorry, I have a presentation to show you about the rules of bingo, and I did not load it. So my apologies for that. Let me double check and make sure I didn't load. Oh, I do. There we go. I did have it. Okay, so let me go over the bingo rules really, really quick. A person can only win one prize every 6 months. So we had 2 winners last month, and I think Vicky's in here as well. You can't win for another 6 months. Only one prize per household every 6 months. It's a $30 value. So you could get a really cool t-shirt, really cool mug. As y'all know, I always have my bingo mug that I bring to Bingo Friday. And it's open to anybody. Bring your friends, bring your neighbors. If you have a club, a genealogy club, and you want to do something on a Friday night, this is where to be. The first Friday of the month, you'll see me and David, and we've got great themes coming up. You guys will really love it. And there are 2 bingo cards that will be played. So 2 people are going to win tonight on bingo. This is for both cards. This is how you win: vertical, horizontal, diagonal. And I want everybody right now, take your mouse, and I believe there's a free space in the middle. Feel free to hit that free space. If you win, please, please, please do me a favor, because you know me, I get chatty. So if you win, type bingo, bingo, bingo. Make sure I see it. Make sure we see it. And then we will also require your WikiTree ID if you are a WikiTreeer. If you are not a WikiTreeer, we invite you to join WikiTree and have the fun with us. But I will still give you the information on how to claim your prize. Okay, let's go, guys. So, very thing we're going to start with, and we talked about it already: Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. If you've seen that movie, can you tell me if it's worth seeing? I love Pride and Prejudice. I don't particularly care for zombies, so I'm torn. And remember, just use your mouse to click it. Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy. And he was the army gentleman that was friends with Mr. Darcy and a relative. And Pemberley. That would be where the Darcys end up. And let us know, too, if you are getting close as we keep going. This is the 1940 Pride and Prejudice that I mentioned with Greer Garson and Laurence Olivier. That was my, for all movie lovers, this was my first introduction to both of those actors. Okay, Wright's 2005 Pride and Prejudice. This is the one with Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadden. I loved it. I love the cinematography of it. I thought the cinematography was fantastic. And I like the little quirky things that they did, like when Lizzie and Darcy were dancing at that ball. Not the first one that was country ball, but the fancy one. And they kind of removed everybody from the scene, so it was just the 2 of them. That was kind of cool. We got 2 away. George Wickham. I guess every story has to have a bad guy. And there you go. David, we got a lot of people that are 2 away.
I didn't realize we had enough words to be 2 away already.
Pride and Prejudice. This is the Bollywood version. Do yourself a favor. Please go watch it. It is fantastic. You will love it. Wow, a lot that are 2 away. Okay, I need
everybody the same card.
Yeah, I know. I need to pause right now and tell you guys something very, very important. All of you that are 2 away might have the same words you're needing. So whoever is the fastest typist is going to win. Bingo. So all 5 of you or 10 might win and have bingo, but it's whoever actually types it in first is the winner. Okay. And Jane Austen, that's who we're talking about. I did leave the link to the profile in the description and also in the chat. Definitely when you get time, check out the profile. Somebody put so much wonderful effort into it. It's worth a good read.
Yeah, it's a really good example of how we'd like all of our profiles to eventually look.
And you know, for a notable, this is really an outstanding. You're right. It's just really outstanding. Okay, the ball at Netherville. That's going to be the fancy ball. And a lot that's won away. Disapproving Aunt. I think you all remember her. Ah, there we go. We got a bingo. Congratulations, Stan. If you are a WikiTreeer, could you please give me your WikiTree ID? But I'm going to tell you how to claim your prize. So if you want to back up bingo, I love that. So Stan, the way to get bingo, your bingo prize is, let me bring it up. You're going to email Eowyn at wikitree.com. She's our forest elf. And just let her know that you won the bingo in February, and she will get you the information. She's going to give you a link to the store and give you all the details of what you can buy and what the price is. I think it is still up to $30, but congratulations. That's awesome. I love that we have backup bingos too. Look at everybody that's, I love this. Way to go, Stan. This is great. Okay. And don't forget, Stan, if you are a WikiTreeer, drop your WikiTree ID there. That would be fabulous. Okay. I'm so excited. I want everybody to know that David has worked really, really hard on this next page. It is the romance.
I'm trying to pull it up on my...
You want me to pull it up or do you got it?
You better do it.
Okay. I just want to say too, when David and I were going through the ideas, I knew I wanted to do something romance. It's February, right? We need to do something romance. And the first thing that came to our mind, and I'm just going to say it, it's embarrassing, is trashy romance novels. But, you know, we realized on WikiTree, we're dealing with some other notables as well. So I'm going to show you a page of a mix of individuals that David has put together in the graphic. Kills me. I love the graphic. That is fantastic.
Which is, by the way, AI generated.
Oh, is it really?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's cool. So I'm going to drop the link here for the notables page. If you are on the connectors, say, project that David and I are on for this month, David has left several of these unconnected just for you. So you can also work on unconnected notables romance offers. If
some of these authors were already had really well developed profiles on WikiTree, and others I just created at the last minute. So they're needing a lot of work and they are not connected.
Well, I will say that if you have a favorite romance novelist, artist, author, I should say, let us know. And if you see them already on WikiTree that we're going to bring up on this list, let us know. I only gave you a couple suggestions. You found most of these on your own.
Yeah, and I will say I'm not a big romance novel reader.
No, he's not. David was like, "Oh no!"
So a lot of these names, I have no idea who they are. But at the same time, I come from a large family of women readers. My grandmother had some of these novelists in her home, and my mother, I know, has read some of them. So I recognize names, if not their works.
And then while we go through this real quick, I'm going to put the second bingo card of the night up in the chat so you guys can get a head start with that too. I love this. You always put such fantastic work into these. So, you know, we've got William Shakespeare. So of course he's going to be connected. I would assume he would be connected.
Yeah, he's connected. You can't leave Romeo and Juliet out.
No, you definitely can't. And then Charles Perrault with Cinderella. I mean, when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, I hadn't realized the author. You just think about Cinderella and Disney. You don't really put it together, not connected. So, do we have anybody that works on French profiles? We need you. Look, 0. We have 0
Yeah, he has
CC7.
no family connected. It's a profile that's been up a while, but it's
And Stephen, I just posted it. I will post it again just in case the internet did a little blip. And we talked about Jane Austen, but Victor Hugo only has 18. He's connected, but we also need to increase the CC7 in A Hunchback of Notre Dame. So,
yeah, so that's an example of someone who a profile was put up and somebody made the real quick connection, and then he's been left alone since then. We run into that a lot with our notables, that they'll have a CC7 of 7 or 8 that link them to the tree. But unlike Nathaniel Hawthorne, who has 7,793,
and let's take a look at his real quick, just to look at the profile a little bit. Somebody has put a lot of work on this. I love that they put the signature and, you know, the scarlet letter. It was required reading when I grew up, and oddly, it was required reading when my kid grew up. I thought maybe it would have cycled out, but it didn't. Wonderful, beautiful WikiTree profile here. This is just full of life. It's amazing. I really kind of get involved reading these for a long time, and I'll go back and look at the pictures and read some more of the details, and then I'll get to the sources. But this was a wonderful done profile, and I will just put in real quick. So my connection to him is 18 degrees. So I think we could probably shorten that up a little bit with, I would say, probably with some CC7 work if anybody was interested in doing that. And let's just get to my loves. These are my loves. And there is a third Bronte sister out there, but Charlotte Bronte and Emily Bronte, all-time favorite, absolutely best romance movie I have ever seen in my life. Wuthering Heights, the original version. I just don't know how anybody can watch that and not come away affected. That how wonderful the writing and the story and the plot was. The Bronte sisters were known to be a little bit dark as well. Jane Austen she had her little dark moments, but they were fun. The Bronte sisters bring in a whole different level, and the one that we're missing, the other Bronte sister also wrote a novel, but her sister Charlotte refused to allow it to be republished in England. The widow of something Hall. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but the Bronte sisters, well, and I can tell you right now, I would love to see their CC7s up because I'd love to be more connected to them. In Tolstoy, I mean, Anna Karenina, that is classic as well. D.H. Lawrence, Lady Chatterley's lover. Look at this profile. This profile is connected, but it's only 316 CC7s. Very controversial book. Was banned in a lot of places. If you're sitting where I'm sitting, you sure do know Margaret Mitchell with Gone with the Wind. I cannot believe Margaret Mitchell only has 338 CC7.
Or 930.
Or 930. I can't believe it. I'm shocked at that because generally people latch on to some of the bigger novels. And here's her profile.
But again, are really nicely done. And what's nice about these profiles that are really fleshed out is even if somebody's not interested necessarily in genealogy, it's still a really cool little summary of her life to read. And I think because we do focus on the genealogical aspect as opposed to just the career, we give people little tidbits that maybe they don't get on Wikipedia or other popular sites.
This was just it. I always love to see photos. In a lot of our older notables, it's very easy to add the photos because they're in Wiki Commons. So that's really kind of easy to do. And there you go. Thank you. I know the Tenet of Wild Phil Hall. Very controversial book as well. There is a BBC movie on that as well. really interesting. And I love that your all's comments with Sir Laurence Olivier. I mean, that is just amazing, amazing movie. And Sean was talking about Kate Bush song that I didn't know. That's Wuthering Heights. I didn't know that. And I didn't know this. Partly named after Anna Karenina. That's pretty cool. We learn so much from you guys. Every time we do this, we learn so much from you guys as well. And the Scarlet Letter movie was just on. Okay, let me go through this.
So when Sandy proposed this project and mentioned the trashy authors, the first thing I did was Google trashy authors, and I got a whole list of them. And they started with Barbara Cartland.
That's the one I was thinking of first, and she's related to Princess Diana.
Princess Diana, absolutely.
I mean, she is extremely
step grandmother, I believe.
Yeah, and she was one of the founding members of the Romantic Novelists Association. How perfect for our event that we're doing tonight. So this is great too, that we try to include everybody from all different regions. Okay, let's go back. The French Lieutenant's Wife. Some of these, I don't know if you guys have read the books or only seen the movies or have done both. And I remember Scruples back in the day. I mean, I was young. My mom would look at that. And Jackie Collins is just iconic.
And Joan Collins' sister.
We're getting into more of the ones that are more modern. So if you notice, they're not connected. They have 0 CC7 or very, very low.
If they have 0 CC7, it generally means that I just created the profile within the last week.
And I love this. You're including Harlequin novels. That's like where everybody starts, I think, with this as you go down. If you guys have any of these that you really, really like, let us know. I saw somebody mention Danielle Steele already. She only has 152 CC7, so we can prove that. I think somebody mentioned Nora Roberts as well. The Witness, what a fantastic movie and book. Can we just pause for a second? And the Outlander series, Diana Gabaldon, who doesn't love the Outlander series? And you did find some other ones here. Nicholas Sparks. Has everybody noticed that when you watch Nicholas Sparks movie, one of the main characters always dies? It's just terrible. The love interest always dies. Terrible. And guess what? I still watch every single one of them.
So we'll get the pictures back up too. We have to do some special stuff when we're doing living pictures from the living profiles, and I forgot to do that. But we'll get
that's funny. They always get the most library takeout. I love that. This is great. So thank you guys for playing along. I really appreciate David creating this page. I give him an idea and we talk about it and we decide what we're going to do. And then he goes and creates these wonderful pages for us.
My favorite thing to do.
And I will say that now that he's created this page, help him out. Help increase the CC7, help get these people connected to our big tree. So then that way we can find out how we connect to them as well. So I love it. And I agree. Thanks, David.
And I always emphasize when it comes to the notables, we get questions all the time. Why do we focus so much on notables? But once you get past the notable, they're just families like everybody else. So the notables make it a little interesting. But when you connect a notable to the tree, you're helping a whole family branch get connected. So
you really are.
I really appreciate the help on that.
And it makes it really fun for us because also we hope some of these will be picked up on the featured connections as well. And then you can also share your love that you have from bingo with these individuals with all of WikiTree that comes up. So let me bring up the next bingo card if you guys are ready. And I know, Carol, some people like Outlander, some people don't. You know what, Carol? David, I think that page is open. Privacy is right. It's open.
They should all be. If they're not open, it's by mistake. So
I know Georgette's work as well, so we will get her added to the list. But if it's open privacy, Carol, add her to the list.
Yeah.
or we can add her for you. But if you've got access, go ahead and add her to the list. I know her work very well too. Okay, bingo. You guys ready? So again, same rules. And if you win bingo, if you have bingo, just shout it real loud at us and we will go from there. If more than one of you have bingo at the same time, it's whoever says it first. Okay, so we showed you the list, but we're going to go through the authors. That's why we spent so much time on the WikiTree profile list, so we can go through these. So this general lady
It's a
is still
woman.
living.
It's a woman. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's still living, and she did the Gray series. Jackie Collins, we talked about. She did a lot of like the fast and rich.
The Hollywood.
Yeah, the Hollywood
Yeah.
scene.
Kind of the pre Housewives.
Oh yeah. Julie Garwood. I think I've only read maybe one. Nathaniel Hawthorne. And it is interesting. Your list started with males,
Yes.
because you're going by date, correct?
Yes, they were chronological. But interesting enough, I ended with a male.
Oh, that's true. Nicholas Sparks. Yeah.
Came from full circle there.
I wondered about that, Lisa. Diana Gabaldon.
Was it Outlander?
The Outlander series. And for research purposes only for today, I did start season 1 over again. I've binged that series probably about 6 times now. 2 away already, Kristen. She was 2 away early too. Leo Tolstoy, which just a classic, but the novel is like, a doorstop. War and Peace, like a doorstop.
Yeah. When I was in high school, my teachers had us read that over Christmas vacation.
Really?
Yes.
You had to read that fast.
Kind of teacher I had.
These are not the same words for the first bingo. These are different. These are the authors that we just showed you. Oh, there we go. Okay. And much love to Kathy, who is not feeling well today, too. And we've got Lisa's 1 away. Now I'm curious who she's looking for. Jude Devereaux.
She has quite an interesting backstory if you have a chance to get over to read her profile.
Oh, we got a bingo. We got a bingo. Paula, was it Jude or was it Penelope? Okay. And I've got Paula, I've got your WikiTree ID. So congratulations. And let me just write your name down before I forget. That's one of my things that I seem to forget. So congratulations, Paula. You're going to do the same thing. You are going to email awen@wikitree.com and let her know that you won the second bingo game for February. And she will get in touch with you with all the details that you need to know. This is fantastic. So what do you guys think of this? What do you think of this is our second time of our new way of doing things. We added the notables to kind of have some fun with it. Added some ways that you can take this list and go from there and help us out. I will drop the list one more time so you can see which one you might want to work on, see which area that you want to work on. We have different countries out there. They're all not just one country or the Americas like we tend to do sometimes. So what do you guys think? You guys having fun with this? And don't forget to check out the Friday bingo page, because I think next month, if memory serves me right, let me see. The hint for next month is, it is St. Patrick's Day next month. So the hint is the person that will be featured is a Dubliner. That's a big hint. Very big hint. I gave you St. Patrick's Day and Dubliner. So who's going to help us out? Who's going to go to do some CC7 or some connecting on maybe your favorite author. And as Carol said, if you don't see their author there, feel free, add them to WikiTree. That's what this is all about, to encourage the fun. And also, if you have somebody that you really like that's notable, go ahead and add them. If they're living, just check out some rules with David. He's always available.
And this will be posted on G2G. So if you find that link, you can always post any recommendations you have there. And then it'll also be on the Notables website as well. So there'll be a couple places you can find it if you lose the link here.
And if you happen to be watching after the fact, as you know, you can't win a bingo prize, but we appreciate you watching after the fact. And for everybody that was here live, thanks for joining us, because you guys and your comments are what makes it fun for David and I to really enjoy this new format of Notables. Oh, let me write down real quick. So David, what about your page? Do you can people just go and add their
you won't be able to just add to it, but you can like I said, if you go to the G2G thread, you can post your any other authors that you might think of. You can post them in the thread, and or you can just send me a message. It's kind of nice if you post them in the thread, then other people can
see what you're working on,
get feedback and that kind of thing.
And for those of you that are still here, in just a couple sentences, can you help us out with living notables? Because what should we know about living notables if we want to add them to WikiTree?
Okay, so you cannot edit a living notable unless you are working directly with a project. So let's take this list as an example. If there is a living notable and you would like to actually work on their profile, let me know and I can add you to the trusted list and you can get on and work on that profile. We don't leave you on there indefinitely. That's for security and privacy reasons. We have rules that we have to follow. So we'll allow you to go on and do the work you need to do. But then we pull you back off once you've completed that. The other option, if you want to add parents and siblings, that kind of thing, is just to give us the profile IDs, and we can add them on there for you, which saves you the trouble of being added on and then taken off again. So you can just, if you create the profiles for the parents, give me the ID numbers and I can attach them for you. A lot of times I did not have time with this group, but a lot of times I'll go in and add the parents. So try to find them and add them just so that we have that link already there. But I didn't get a chance to do that on these. So, but again, for privacy reasons, we can't open them up if they're still living. We can open them for viewing, but not for editing.
So, and again, if you have a notable, I recommend that you contact, or living notable, excuse me, I recommend that you contact David and get the rules again. If you forget what they are from this conversation, we'll try and remind people, I think, every bingo, though, what the rules are, because we are under very specific privacy laws with this. And there's some other little hints that David can give you about what you can and can't do on a profile of a living notable. So,
and we have to follow not only U.S. laws, but European laws, et cetera. So there's a lot of little intricacies we have to worry about. And the other thing is, usually I don't put living profiles on the list because of the theme. This time we didn't have a lot of deceased romance novelists, so we had to kind of make an exception. But usually you're not going to find very many living notables on our list.
Well,
just for that reason.
Yeah. Next month, I think we'll be okay. So remember, the first Friday of every month, you'll see us here at 6 p.m. Eastern time with the Notables Bingo. And it's St. Patrick's Day, it's March, and the clue is a Dubliner. Irish John should know this one too, by the way. But thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next month.
Bye-bye.